Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Rachael Goldsworthy, and I'm on a journey each and every week. By 2 millimeters, we're going to improve our life. How are you? And I want to do that with you and each and every one of you. What's going on? Happy New Year. We're back to work. Are you back to work? It all started back for us today. It was a big day. Got probably a bit too many trees in the background. I'll bring it down a little bit there. How I get that? You can see my puppy dog gate in the background for the boys and girls so that they don't escape anywhere. And yeah, it's been a really good start to the year for me, and certainly the business as well. And we've had a lot of fun doing what we were doing over the break, as in the puppy dogs and me and the birds. Magpies are here feeding. I just left a little bit of oats out for them so that they got that. What did you get up to? What did the kids do? What did everybody else do? Did you have puppy dogs? Did you have kids? Did you have in-laws? Did you have family? Boys, girls, whoever it may be. Hey Jess, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. Thanks for joining us. Today is the wolf moon. The wolf moon. Everybody's going to be howling. Apparently the Farmer's Almanac, as we always go back to, it doesn't set until 8:10, so I wasn't going to film it for you. I was going to film it for you, but unfortunately it's not going on until 8:10 tonight, the sunset. So filming a full moon with cloudy sky, but the sun is beautiful. Like, I don't know about you, but watching that fullness in the sun and the energy that it gives you, it's kind of like hugging a tree and doing all of those sorts of things. But I know some people like the moon, some people don't like the moon, so we'll leave it to the topic that we've got. Hey Jax, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. Jess is saying, is that why my youngest is a bit crazy tonight? You've got it, a little bit cray-cray. Everybody gets that way, including me. Sometimes with the full moon, it makes us do funny things, and sometimes we can't sleep as well. Not only because of the night sky, you know, I've got the moon to the right-hand side of my bedroom, so it comes in through the blinds. And, you know, sometimes I like to sleep with the window open, sometimes I don't, depending on how hot it is and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's sort of an interesting thing with a full moon. But wolf moon. So, it's because the wolves do have a little bit of a word to say on full moons. Some say it's not. So pop in the comments below what a wolf moon means to you and why you know about it or why you don't know about it, and share your thoughts and your learnings with everybody else. Tonight we're going to talk about 75 hard. I started the 75 hard as a soft start on the 1st of January, but I knew that I had a lot of engagements, a lot of people to catch up with in that time. So I was sort of waiting till the 6th. You see, I'm still in holiday mode. So yeah, we've got that, and we're going to talk about the Angels Portal. We're going to talk about Audrey Hepburn. Isn't she timeless and elegant? And we're going to talk about, well, we've talked about the moon. So the moon's out the window now. But no, not really. The moon in itself is really interesting because the moon brings with it so much energy, the tides, the energy that you have, those sorts of things. This moon and the Angels Portal, it's bringing about lots of different things about strength, about intuition, about freedom, which is a really important thing, you know, intuitive guidance, new beginnings, emotional healing, inner strength, spiritual transformation, community and loyalty, introspection, manifestation, emotional release, heightened creativity, spiritual cleansing, intuitive dreams, and cosmic alignment. Wow, that's a big list, isn't it? That's what was on the history of it, and that's what is available to everybody. So I guess you just got to put it out to the universe and say, hey, this is what I want, or God, or whoever it is that you may believe in, and then, you know, go from there. But Audrey Hepburn, she had a beautiful nature about her, didn't she? I don't know whether this is a bit too high, and we might lower it down so I'm talking with you, not there. How's that? And I'll just straighten this out a little bit more. There we go. Still working on my calendar. It's getting bigger each time we speak. I can't wait to share with you all the things that we'll be doing, but we're going to be doing that later. Okay, I think we're back. No, not quite. It's going to fall over in a second. Sorry, people, bear with me. Technical difficulties. There we go. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? Okay. Now we've got, hey Chris, how are you? Anybody wants a car, go down to Nepean. He is the guy that's going to get you the best car that you ever want. That is not a car salesperson's pitch. He's probably better at pitching it than me. Pop in the comments below the website, Chris, so that we can know where to pick up a car, especially the beginning of the year. End of financial year is coming soon, so you may want to get a car. You may want to get something. You may want to look at upgrading, downgrading, go from a 4-door to a 2-door, put the top down during the summertime, or maybe go from a 2-door to a 4-door because the family's growing. I don't know, but why don't you speak to Chris? He's a great local person in relation to vehicles. Very knowledgeable, knows everything about cars. So there we go. All right, so Audrey Hepburn, that's what we were talking about. Audrey Hepburn with a timeless elegance. She reminds us of the power of kindness between people. And it made me think, and I was looking, I mean, she was a well-known actress, well-known fashion. She was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I think everybody would say the same if you spoke to them. She did lots of different movies. One was Tiffany's at Breakfast, which is the one I can remember. I think it's Roman's Holiday. Pop in the comments below if you watched a movie by Audrey Hepburn or something similar. But she had a beautiful quote. There we go. And Chris has put it in the comments. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year to all. Hope everyone is well. Big thumbs up to you, Chris, at nepeanmotorgroup.com.au. That's nepeanmotorgroup.com.au. If anybody wants a vehicle, please do not go past them because it's wonderful. I've been out there. I've seen the way they set it up, and you are certainly the number one priority. Like our brand, Live, Love, Local. We love looking after people and the local clan, but we also like looking after people that are outside of the area too, so wherever you may be. But Audrey Hepburn, she was just timeless elegance, as I say, but she had a beautiful quote, and I thought I might share that with you all. She said, "I believe at looking at the world with gentle eyes. What others think or say matters less than the love and kindness that we give. I choose to serve others with grace, to find beauty and simplicity, and to accept life's journey as it unfolds. When we focus on giving rather than receiving, on helping rather than judging, everything becomes lighter and more meaningful." Isn't that lovely? And I think that's so true. And sometimes we all lose sight of where we are in the world or what's going on in the world for other people. And if we're mindful that kindness and gentleness and service to others is important as well. Coming back from holidays, I mean, I had a lovely holiday. I didn't do anything much. I just hung out. Well, when I say much, I had a wonderful time with family, reconnecting with everybody, catching up with everybody, friends, those sorts of things, puppy dogs, fur kids, that, and just sort of taking some time out, really. I think the first 3 days I caught up on some sleep. I read some books. I like to read a book a day if I can when I'm in the mood, but yeah, probably not as fast as I used to be. I like to leisurely walk my way through the books these days and just enjoy what's being said. But yeah, look, matters less than the love and kindness we give. I choose to serve others with grace and to find beauty and simplicity, to accept life's journey as it unfolds. And when we focus on giving rather than receiving, on helping rather than judging, everything becomes lighter and more meaningful. I really like that. And that took me into this week because I had the 75 Hard Challenge, which I don't even know why it's called 75 Hard, because it's well, I do know why it's called 75 Hard, because it is hard. And I would prefer it to be called 75 Easy, but I suppose if it was easy, we'd all be doing it long before today. But I got a little bit inspired by looking at a few different things with some friends over the holidays, and also the year that was, and checked in with the doctor in regards to my health, and kind of thought I needed to lose a little bit of weight and refocus on a few things for myself. So that's kind of where I went. And then when I put it out to the universe, I think I said it in one of my other stories that big shout out to Ryan and Katie from Texas. They're doing the 75 Hard Challenge, and they put an invite out to me, realtors in Texas. So if you ever want to move to Texas, that's them on Instagram. But she's doing the 75 Hard. She's got a young baby. She's got a young family. She's running a business. She's got family and friends. She's got business, staff within the business. She's got all sorts of things going on, but she keeps turning up. And that's what I really like about people, and the grit that you have to be able to be and do. I mean, sometimes you have to just sit like I did over the holidays and do nothing and just recoup, recharge, regenerate for the times that you are going to go hard, because the 75 Hard Challenge, if for those of you who don't know, I didn't know before I found out about it either, so don't worry about that. But there's 5 rules. Basically, you've got to drink a gallon of water a day. You have to have 2 workouts a day. So 1 in the morning or 1 in the afternoon, or 2 workouts, whatever it is that you're going to do. One of those workouts needs to be outside, so getting that energy from the sun, the vitamin D from the sun, which we all love, and it just sort of resets, especially if you do it first thing in the morning and out on the walk watching the sunrise. I digress. What am I up to? 10 pages of reading a book. The water, I mean, I'm on to my last little bit of the water now. So it's pretty hard. I felt like I was a 30-meter tree, 30-meter tall tree. The amount of water, it was like 4 litres, is 3.785 gallons. So I just sort of rounded up to 4 litres. And sometimes I get a little bit more in. Sometimes I hit right on if I'm struggling with that for the day. But certainly it's been a game changer for me. And also just owning your time and lots of other things. So I'll run through with you what I found. I mean, the first week I really went out of the gates hard, and I know that if you lose weight, it's sort of not sustainable, but I did lose 5.5 kgs. So that was an amazing effort in itself, I think, but I know that will probably even out over the next week or 2 weeks. I'll probably sort of, you may lose some weeks, you may not lose, but the aim is not to lose the weight as such. The aim is to be a fitter person for yourself and those people around you, so that you can serve your community, so you can serve others, and you can serve yourself as well, because if you look after yourself, you've got more oxygen to help other people out, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it. I lost 4 inches, so that's a good start as well, and 68 days to go at this stage. Now, when I say 68 days to go, that's just the intense focus that I've got on those 5 activities that you need to do for this. I'm going to keep this going, and I probably will do quarterly runs of it if people want to jump in with me and join in. I do a walk in the morning or the afternoon, generally in the night time, and generally first thing in the morning I might go to the gym or take the dogs for a walk in the afternoon, that sort of thing. So what I found, the takeaways that I found, and I'll share with you, consistency beats intensity. If you're turning up once a week and expecting the results, it's just not going to happen. And sometimes I fell into that trap before I started this. I mean, I come from a fitness background, so I used to be a personal trainer. I used to teach pump classes. I used to run a fitness club. So I know what needs to be done, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to get the work done. So there's a couple of things that I'm sticking to that are actually making me accountable for that. So consistency, they say you can throw a bucket of water on a rock and it does nothing. But if you have a river flowing, or if you have a waterfall that drips water down onto this rock, over time, that water consistently dropping on the rock will make a hole. And that's what you've got to look at when you're doing the exercise, because when you're busy at work, you've got kids, you've got family, you've got dogs, you've got pets, you've got different constraints that, you may have not the best health. I'm not too sure what it is for you, but sometimes it's hard to be consistent because things get in the way. But the other thing that I found too is planning the week ahead. That was really important for me, you know, because if I didn't plan the week ahead, I found that I was going to miss out on things. So drinking like 4 litres of water, it's making me want to drink even more water. By the end of the day, I've been talking to a lot of people today. First day back in the office. So if anybody has any real estate questions, burning questions, pop them in the comments below because I can answer those for you as we go as well. 1 gallon of water a day, so that's one of the rules. I did have a headache in the first 3 days, but I also felt that that was the toxins getting flushed out of my body. I used to drink a lot of Pepsi Max, and sometimes you can have more mercury in your system, or you can have more metals in your system than you ordinarily would if you didn't. So for those of you that like Coke or Pepsi Max or soft drinks of some sort, or, you know, even if you, what I did to start with is have an alternative. So 1 water, and then 1 other sort of drink. So there's no alcohol. You're not allowed to drink or I mean, they didn't say anything about smoking, but they said no drink and no drinking. So, I mean, I don't drink, so that's not an issue for me. That was a bit of a easy one off the list of, so there's only 4 things that I had to do. But as I say, I did have that headache for the first couple of days, but my body loves the water now and it's craving the water. Hey Cindy, how are you? Hi Daniel, how are you? Hi Tina, nice to see you on the line. How is everybody? Great to have everybody with me. Pardon me, excuse me. Big day, big day. And starting early with the water is the key. I find if I drink 1 litre at 10 or by 10:30 in the morning, then the 2nd litre by midday, the 3rd litre by around about 2:30 in the afternoon, and the final litre, the 4th litre, by 5 p.m. Now, as you can see, I didn't make it to 5 p.m. This is probably another 700 mils to go, so I'll be able to do that before bed. And if I do it early enough, I won't have to worry about wetting the bed, so that's always something too. We don't have any problems with that, so that's okay. But it just stops you having to get up in the middle of the night. Planning, as I said, is a game changer. It's been really good for me because I've got a little diary, not a little diary, a big compendium. Oh, this is one of them. And I've got an A4 diary as well that just keeps me on track, and I've got everything in there. I write out what I do for the day and what I want to achieve in the day ahead. So I used to have a little compendium, but now I want a big compendium with what I'm doing in there, because then it just makes it a lot easier to see what I'm doing and map out the day, map out the year ahead. And I love that, you know. The other thing, meal preparation. Like I've been doing meal preparation with whether it's the lettuce, the tomato, the cucumbers. I mean, it depends on what you're eating. It depends on what diet you're eating. I don't know. You might do the complete 100% meat. You might do a bit of meat and a bit of veggie. You might do a bit of, you know, just total veggie. I'm not too sure what it is, but that's the other one of the other rules is you just have to stick to a diet. You don't need to go crazy on it, but just be consistent with it. So no cheat meals is another thing. So I got asked to go out with a bunch of friends on Saturday night to Chinese restaurant. Now I knew if I had gone to that Chinese restaurant, I probably would have broken the diet. One of the rules of the diet or the challenge, the 75-day challenge is if you break the diet, then you got to start again. So no cheat meals. So I don't want to start the 75 days again. I want to keep going and see where I'm going with this. Things will probably even out in the next few weeks though, and we'll see how we go with that. And I guess my body's adjusting to the new normal. So with all of the water, I mean, it kind of felt like all this water was going into my body, filling up my legs, and I was almost like I was a tree with the root system down below, and it felt really weird, but really good because all the cells were waking up and enjoying being nourished, and I feel as though I'm more hydrated as a result. And of course, we're 85% water, aren't we? So with that, it just allows us to hydrate ourselves. It helps with your eyesight. It helps with, I mean, the skin is one of the biggest organs. So it just helps with your skin, making it more hydrated. Everything's good in relation to it. So I think drink more water if you can. I don't know, you may not be able to get to the 4 litres. I found it really hard to start with, but once my body got into that routine, it became the new normal. So thank you for everybody joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And some of the other things I thought, starting early in the day as well. So setting the alarm clock and starting early and then going to bed early. So you sort of have like a sleep hygiene routine, and it might be 9, it might be 9:30 of a night time that you head to bed. It might be earlier. I'm not too sure what that is for you, but it just depends on what is right for you. You know, you might find that that's too early and you like to go to bed at 10:30, but just stick with the same times because your body gets used to the whole system of it, the whole process of it. And it's those daily disciplines. And it sounds a bit weird, but it's not really, in the sense it's just something that you do, and it doesn't become it's not a discipline after a while. It's more just that's part of your day. It's like brushing your teeth. You get up, you brush your teeth every day. You get up, you have a shower before you go to work. You get up and have a cup of coffee every day. So if you bring in these other things, and I used to say I don't have enough time, I'm really busy. And then when I looked at the time and the things that I was doing, when I started doing time blocking, so if I put those schedules in a time, sort of like a quarter of a day or something like that, if I do those certain activities in certain time slots, so say for example I do my first workout in the first part of the day, I wake up and that's the first thing I do. I get on my sneakers and out the door I go and go to the gym or go for a walk or take the dogs for a walk, that sort of thing. That's the first part of it. Whereas if you sort of wake up and you're sort of doing a bit of this and a bit of that, and not the same thing every day. I mean, you don't have to do the same exercise every day. You can mix it up a bit. You can go for a walk with your friends. You could go for a pickleball game. You could go for a walk in the park with the dogs. You could go for, I'm not too sure. Like, I love going for a surf as well. So the ocean has always been good to me over the years. It's just so rejuvenating. Mum and Dad used to take us as kids to the beach and just love the water. Greg's saying hydration is important. Yeah, it totally is, Greg, isn't it? Hydration, especially in the summer. Like, it's been really hot this summer, but probably not as hot as it has been over the years. But just the same, it's important to do that. So yeah, they're the things that I've been looking at. Game changers as well for me too. These are my 2 little potions that I put in my water. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to give you any advice in relation to your health or what you need to do. But if what I've found that's helps me, I don't know whether you can see this or not. I have these on my desk in the office. They're little containers of organic bits and pieces. And one even said, like, gives you extra 82 trace minerals and just adds to that hydration and getting it into the system. That's your Celtic salt. And then the second one, just for something different, I popped in the cinnamon. So I don't know about you, but I don't like drinking a hell of a lot of water. Having said that, I drink 4 litres of water a day, but I like to make it interesting. So if you put, whether it might be mint or you could put some other herb that you like in there, but the cinnamon really makes it taste quite nice. Don't put too much in because it'll taste like bark or dirt or something. It's just horrible and you won't stick to it. But pop in the comments below what you actually drink water with, or if you drink water plain, or what you do in that in relation to that, because you know, it's hard sometimes to get the motivation to do these things, but the consistency for me was just turning up. The other thing for me was being publicly accountable for it. That's why I put it online with you. I mean, this Monday is 2mm Monday. I'm wanting to improve my life by 2mm each and every week, and I always want to do that with you. So you know that from what I've said each and every week for you, and for me too. So putting it online, the public accountability, I knew, like the first day when I did this challenge, I literally started, got up out of bed and tried to get up out of bed. My back was so sore, like I literally couldn't move. So I had to get into a chair to start with, put a bit of a weak pat on my back, warm that up, and then started to move out the door, went for a walk, and then it slowly sort of loosened up and it was fine. So, yeah, so walking is really important, and whatever you can do. Like, I've got some friends who their mobility is not as great as they'd like it to be, but it doesn't mean to say that you don't have to join in on the 75 hard. You might be having a 75 hard, but just a different version of it. So you might still do 2 workouts, but they may not be 45 minutes each. You may want to do a softer workout that, you may just be able to sit in the chair, stand up out of the chair, sit in the chair, stand up out of the chair. And it can be as simple as something like that, or getting 2 cans of baked beans and putting them above your head, or, doing the arm movements, shoulders, triceps, biceps, your biceps there, or your triceps with this one, whatever it may be. You can just use calisthenics, using the body weight to actually help you with that process. Or you might have some light weights at home. You can use a can of baked beans. As I said, it doesn't need to be fancy. You can go down to the local pool and swim in the local pool. They have these great masks now that you can put across your whole face, so you don't have to get anything. No water, no blowing bubbles in the local pool if you think that it's not as clean as you want it to be. But certainly, Greg's saying here, the second product after the Celtic salt. Yeah, this is organic cinnamon. Organic cinnamon. And basically, I just grab a pinch of it, pop it in the water, and then your water, this is my water here, it just looks like water, and then if you shake it up, it like becomes a snow globe. And it tastes really good. It's got a little bit of, you can see it swirling around in there. Don't have too much of it, obviously, and follow the doctor's rules, whatever that may be with your doctor. Seek any advice that you need to seek before you start taking it. I'm not a nutritionist. I just based it on what I know as a person and from the studies that I've done. And Greg's saying hydration, especially with parents with Alzheimer's, because they forget. Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you can set it on your watch as well if you want. I mean, I've got an Apple Watch too, and one of those can be set to sit up, stand out, stand up, sit down, or you can have it to have your drink of water, or you can have it to set to anything, text your friends on Fridays. I usually have that set to text my friends and see how they're going. If I've had a really busy week and I haven't had a chance to catch up with everybody, that's what I do. I just send out a text to each and every one of them that's heartfelt and sharing kindness with everybody too, because it's important to stay in touch with your friends and family. So that's about it for me. Greg's saying cinnamon is good for the blood sugar. Absolutely. And that's why I do it. It just evens that out. And the other thing too is if you're having, there's 2 schools of thought about protein prior to, but what I'm finding with my body and the way in which it's reacting is better to have the protein before I start on anything else. And you've also got to have a certain amount of protein and a certain amount of carbs. So depending on what your dietitian says to you, it might be the way to go. But after what I've started doing, 5.5 kgs down and lost 4 inches, and I'm going to keep going with it. I've got 68 days to go. And if anybody wants to join in with me, I'm more than happy to share with you what I'm doing, what I'm learning. I'm learning so much as well, as you do each and every day, don't you? When you come to work and you work with a whole bunch of other people, they share with you lots of ideas. You make your own thoughts on it. You get together with people, you think about different things, you work out the best ways to do things, and then just bring systems and procedures in to make those things happen. Because that's what I find is that sometimes you can have all good intentions to start. Like I had all good intentions to start on the 1st of January. But then once I getting up to that date, I had a few things in the calendar and I thought, oh, gee, I don't think that I'm going to be able to do this. But what I did do, instead of waiting until the following week, I sort of did a soft start. So I started getting into the system of drinking water and what that would be like. So I may not have hit the 4 litres, I may have hit 2 litres in that first week. And then I was eating cleanly, but there were some meals that I'd go out with friends that I didn't want to be that person at the table. Oh, I can't have this, I can't have that, what have you. Even though there are certain meals that you can get separately, which is absolutely fine too. So I started the challenge on the 6th of January, as I say, and that was my hard start, so 75 hard from that particular date. And it's been the 7 days now, and, it's been really good for me, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm loving to hear what everybody else is doing. There's been some amazing results out there, like there's weight loss, there's just people feeling better for themselves. There's people that are just enjoying spending time with their family and their friends. There's people that are reading books. Like, I mean, I'm reading the book by Dan Sullivan. He's got any number of books at the moment. I think this one is 10 by instead of 2 by, because there's not much difference between 2 times your business versus 10 times your business, or 2 times your personal life or 10 times your personal life. It's more of a linear jump. So the 2 times is more linear and brute force and just doing the hard yarns. Whereas when you helicopter back and you're looking at 10 times those sorts of things, what can you do to get the maximum leverage out of the scenario to be able to achieve what you all want to achieve together? And that's what I'm finding about with the public accountability. Sorry, there's a message coming through from somebody. Sometimes I get distracted. I apologize, people. But the public accountability, because we're all sharing this together, we're all learning together, we're all making mistakes together, because it's okay to make mistakes. We all fail forward. And I think that's better if you, rather than sort of trying to be, you know, this person that doesn't make any mistakes. I mean, I used to be more like that when I was younger. I wanted everything right, and I used to really make sure that everything was right. But now I'm sort of like, it's okay. If you flip out that time, or you don't quite get it that time, it's not a big deal. It's just, okay, next, we'll try it again. We'll do something different. And then that's the whole thing. As long as you're not making the same mistake twice, you just try it a little bit differently the next time. Greg's saying, what's happening with the calendar? Have I missed anything? Okay, well, the calendar. That's a very good question, Greg. The calendar for me is looking pretty full. I'm going to a few different things, but essentially what we've got is a training session that I will do. The calendar here, I don't know whether you can see at the top here, we've got the months. So each one is the months of the year. And then across this way, you've got the dates, and then each car key spot is a weekend. So I've sort of planned out my January and most of the beginning of March, because I'm going overseas, but February is a bit quiet at the moment, but I'll work on that as well. And then January is pretty well set out. So essentially what we will do, Greg, is we will have a training session, and I might focus on next week for you for that one. I appreciate your words about the calendar. Yeah, I'm glad you received that calendar, and just wanted as many people to have a copy of that they wanted. If anybody wants a copy of the calendar, please let me know, and I can get one out to you. They are quite large, but I can get a smaller print for you if you prefer a smaller size. The other thing you could do is probably carry it around in an A4, which is even like a vision board, and you can sort of have that in your wallet. Because I haven't got my wallet with me, but I have a vision sheet that I bring out, and it just reminds you of all the things that you want to achieve. And it's kind of like writing that letter to yourself at the end of, pardon me, sorry, drinking water again. So at the end of the year, you want to have known what you've done for the year ahead. So if you, Lisa Marie Renda, send me one, please. Absolutely. I'm happy to send you one, Lisa. Lisa, if anybody's looking for a conveyancer, she works out of the local area in the Hawkesbury. She goes all across New South Wales. She's brilliant at what she does. I caught up with her this morning. She's got a lot of new matters coming back in the new year, and lots of sales and lots of new sellers, I should say. So good on you. Well done for the success. And that's what this is all about too, is just telling everybody of what we're doing and how we're doing, and just be proud of one another as we achieve these things. Because in life, it's not about a competition. It's about seeing one another and sharing that kindness. And as Audrey said, kindness and gentleness, and just being considerate for one another, because I don't think that there's enough of that in this world. And sometimes people find the time for you, and if they don't, they don't. And you've just got to move with the tribe that want to be with you and love you and respect you for who you are and who you want to be and where you're heading. Because I think sometimes too, whether it's a 75 hard challenge or whether it's something else that you're changing in your life, like I know I've got another friend who's giving up or gave up smoking, and their work colleagues were smoking, and they were tempted to go out to have a cigarette with them. But then if they went out to have a cigarette, it's like me going out to the Chinese restaurant. I know that I probably wouldn't have been strong enough at this early stage of what we're doing to be able to say no. So it was easier to say, no to going out to the restaurant, and then later on I'll probably be able to go to a Chinese restaurant with everybody, but once I'm into the system. And the same thing with my friend with smoking. Morning tea, if they all go out, or afternoon tea or lunchtime, whatever it was, if they all go out together, they're probably going to be more tempted to have a cigarette together or an alcoholic beverage or whatever your poison or what do they call it, a vice may be. Not that they're vices, but they're just things that, it might be chocolate, it might be food of some time. I love carbs. I've always loved carbs. But I don't know what your vice is, but, share in the comments below, because sometimes that one comment that you make helps somebody else that's watching it or watches it later. Because there's always a lot of people that chime in and chime out because they might be feeding the kids, or, this time of night there might be a special show that they've got to watch, or TV, or something else that people are doing, sports events with the kids, and then they catch up later on, and I get some really nice messages through. So thank you everybody for doing that. Greg's saying, I'm always saying we're all here to help and learn from each other. Absolutely, Greg, 100%. I agree with you on that. And it's so important. And Lisa's saying with the calendar, we're going to do a training session next week, Lisa. So if you wanted to join in on that, Greg will be on it as well. And I think that there's Remakery. I'm going to be doing a training session up there with Remakery. There is no cost for you to join in. There is no cost for anything. This is my way of giving back. I love spending time with you, and I love hearing about your days, your weeks, and what you're all up to. So don't be shy. Pop in the comments below or send me a direct message. I'm always happy to hear from each and every one of you. Sorry, drinking a little bit more. And as Greg said, we are all here for each other, and we are all here to learn from one another and help one another. So I'll read from that quote again, because I just love Audrey's quote that she had. And it says that, I believe at looking at the world with gentle eyes. What others think or say matters less than the love and kindness we give. I choose to serve others with grace, to find beauty and simplicity, and to accept life's journey as it unfolds. When we focus on giving rather than receiving, on helping rather than judging, everything becomes lighter and more meaningful. So with that, here's to a lighter and a more meaningful week ahead, year ahead for you. We will do the calendar next week together, and we'll set it out. It's very simple. Literally within 15 minutes, half an hour, you'll have your whole year planned out. So everybody, just buy yourself a calendar or print one out from you can go onto your computer if you have a computer. If not, you can come to my office and I can give you a copy of either this calendar or something similar. If that one's too big, we can get other ones for you. But I want everybody to be able to be the people that they want to be, focus on the things that they want to focus on, and get the most out of your week, your year, your month, whatever it is that you do. Because there's one thing that I've learned over the years, and that is, if you focus on things in chunks, you achieve so much more in that short period of time. And there's nothing like a deadline or a timeline to work towards to be able to achieve that. I think that if you're looking at doing something, if you said, okay, I've got to leave in 5 minutes, well, you're going to run around the house, tear around the house really fast to get everything done. Whereas if you've got 4 hours before you have to go out, and then you're sort of thinking, oh, okay, I can just amble here, and I might have a coffee there, and I might have pat the poochies, and I might go out and talk to the water dragons, or I might sit out in the sunshine and read 10 pages of my book, or whatever it may be. Whereas if you've got 5 minutes, you're focused, you're zoned in, you've got that time block, I'm out the door, done and dusted. So I guess it depends on what the outcome is that you want to achieve by doing that. But something to think about. There's no right or wrong. There's no judgment one way or the other. You do you, whatever that is for you. And if you want to share some gentleness, some kindness with people, that would be great as well. And be there for one another if you can, because life is short and we don't get much time to spend. And if we can spend it wisely together, that's just a beautiful world to be in. So everything becomes lighter and more meaningful when there's others involved, and certainly the tribe that I found with everybody here, and also the people that I was already speaking to over the last sort of 30, 40 years with what we do here. It's just a nice thing to have that continuity and also to have that community around you, because the support and the love that everyone's given me, even though I've put this on publicly for the 75 Hard, it's been the best thing that I've done, because I've been able to learn so much from it with everybody, but it will be probably other things that I'll learn throughout the week as well and the next couple of months, because I'm probably heading towards March as the end point of the 75. But as I say, on my calendar, it's not going to be the end. It's just going to be a start point for me, and just to continue to work with that. And if anybody needs anything, as I say, pop in the comments below. You want a copy of the calendar, and I'll make sure I get one sent out to you. They usually cost like $100 in the stores. So if you do want a copy of the calendars, I'm happy to give them for free. That will probably be for the next week. If you want a copy of the calendar, make sure you pop in the comments below. Go out, buy yourself a calendar if you don't have one, if you don't want one of these calendars sent, but have your calendar ready or your diary ready for next week. We will do a training session together, and we'll see if we can plan out the year so that you've had the best year you possibly can have. And obviously you're going to add your own pizzazz, your own juju to your life, whatever that may be. And I'm hopeful for a very good life for each and every one of us, and the best possible things to happen for each and every one of us too. All right, then, I think I've said enough tonight, but it's fairly short and sweet, but I just wanted to check in with everybody and see what everybody wanted to do. One of our clients also, I'm getting a message through, I will read it, Cheryl Price, one of our clients, she's so lovely. She got a glimpse of my fur babies today, and that was great. And she said, thank you for your support to the team as well. She came in and the time was arranged, and she's hoping that Bruce is going to be a little bit better soon. And thank you very much for that, Cheryl. I appreciate your comments. Bruce and Graham, sorry, I'm mixing my words because it's the end of the day. I'm sorry. Bruce is my puppy dog. Cheryl and Graham are married, and they're just a lovely, caring couple. And our thoughts and thank yous go out to you both for the new year, and also for Brucey. He has had a couple of tests today, so I'm hoping that he is going to be feeling a little bit better soon, but we're just waiting for the results. So tomorrow will be that day, fingers crossed, and I'm hopeful that everything will be okay, but you never know until you know. So, but there's no point worrying about something we don't know until it happens. So let's just go with the fact that he's going to be great, and he maybe just ate a lizard and his stomach's a little bit upset at the moment. And I'll let you know what his full blood count is. So it's not really much of an ordeal, actually, when you go to the vet. They just shave a little bit of their forearm and put the needle in, and away you go. I go to Macquarie Vet. Kay is a lovely person. Her and her team down there, they're wonderful, very caring. I had Topsy in there last week or the week before. She was getting her inoculations, and Brucey couldn't have his because he hasn't been 100%, but we're hoping by tomorrow we'll get some sort of a diagnosis or some sort of update for him. Hopefully he will be just that he ate a lizard or a frog and he shouldn't have, and I'll have to have a bit of a chat to him and get Topsy to keep an eye out that he doesn't have those animals and so forth. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great week, whether you're on the 75 Hard or whether you're doing the calendar with me next week, or whether you're looking at the angel portal, whether you put your intentions out to the universe, whether you're looking at the wolf moon tonight at 8:10 tonight with me. Don't forget to look to the left or right, depending on where you are, but it's a little bit away from the moon, but not far. It's probably like that far in the sky when you're looking up into the sky, but you'll see Saturn. And also Venus is on the other side, so it's sort of on the western side of the sky. I'm pointing that way because that's my west, not that that's your west, but wherever your west is. But you can see quite a few of the planets in the sky. The planets, the difference between a star and a planet, the planet is the one that's a solid dot. I'm not talking about the orbs that everybody's seeing. I'm not talking about the UFOs, the unidentified flying objects, or whatever they may be at the moment. We might call them in. We'll get them down for a chat and get some insight. We might get a download. I'm not too sure. I don't know what's up there. I mean, pop in the comments below what you think about the UFOs. Are they real or are they not real? that would be interesting to get. But yeah, Saturn's up there. Mars is up there at the moment. You've got Venus, really bright. But the difference between the planet and the stars will sparkle. And then the planets, they're just a solid dot. But it's a beautiful bright. And you can see it with the binoculars, or I've got a telescope as well. So I sometimes get that out. It's not that often because it's a bit bigger. But I remember when Haley's Comet was around, and Mum and Dad and my brother Bryce and Emma, we were all out early hours of the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, for a couple of different nights at a time. So yeah, we're really enjoying it. Thanks, Jax. Really appreciate your comments that you're putting through. It's very kind of you to say, and I'm enjoying doing these lives with you as well. You know, because that's what it's all about. It's just about being there for one another, turning up authentically. And I guess over the last 12 months, that's what I've learned, is that, or it was reiterated, that you can have people in your lives and you want them to be there, but it's really important that we're all there for one another. And with the 75 Live, I can bring the best version of myself to the table, and I have lots to offer at the table. But so does everybody else. Everybody else have their certain thing that they're good at, or their certain thing that they may not be so good at, but that's where people complement one another, and one another helps each other out. So whether it's your family, or whether it's your friends, or whether it's your fur kids, might be God to you, it might be the universe to you, it might be the Quran to you, I'm not too sure. But whatever that is, lean into it, because with the opportunity that we have in 2025, in my post that I put up, it was new beginnings, because every year, as much as it's a fake date in the sense that it doesn't matter what day of the year, but in our minds we go, okay, we're going to start at the 1st of January and that's it, and we're going to be a different person, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. But I think if you lean into it, as Audrey said, with gentleness and kindness to not only the others around you, but also yourself, because if you don't be gentle to yourself or don't be kind to yourself, I think the end result is different. And I think that by doing these things for yourself, and whether it is spending an extra 5 minutes in bed because you need that sleep, or whether it's an extra 5 minutes with the puppy dogs a day, or whether it's an extra, I don't care whether it's half an hour, it doesn't matter. Whether you take the dogs for a walk as I do, or you might go to the team sports with the kids, you might watch the kids. I mean, they're probably not back from school, but in the school holidays, make the last week or two really count with them. So if you're going to take them to the park, don't be on your phone. I know that when I go for a walk, I take my phone, but I deliberately don't want to take my phone to just look on the phone. I take my phone in the instance that I want to take a photo of my puppy dogs, because I love them so much and I love seeing them, and I love sort of knowing that they're there. And I put them up online as well so that you can share how beautiful they are. And I don't want to be on the phone so that I miss that time with the dogs. So I go for a walk, I'm looking at the sun as it's setting, I'm looking at the river, because if you're looking at the river, for example, it's lowering your blood pressure. There's stats out there that say that it does. You might see a friend on the path and they might walk the other way. Just go, oh, hi, how you going? Oh, hi, Harry. That's their dog's name, whatever it might be. And you see them each day. And it's nice to be able to have that community where everybody knows one another, everybody supports one another, but you're being present. You're present with the kids, whether it's fur kids or two-legged kids, it doesn't matter. And just enjoy the time with them. So the last couple of weeks of the school holidays, we're getting ready. There'll be a lot of the containers coming out, a lot of drink bottles for the kids, which ones to get them, which food containers to get the kids, and what to do in preparation for that, all the school books, the uniforms and everything that you need to do. So just enjoy the time with the kids. I know one of our staff spent some time at a water park, Ashley and Brendan. They had just such a beautiful time with Alexia, and it was so lovely to see. And I think that's essentially what family is just spending the time, and it doesn't have to be fancy things. It doesn't have to be spending a lot of money to do anything. I've never been one for that. As much as I love giving gifts, and yes, sometimes they may be different to what other people give, it doesn't matter. We're all individuals and we all like to do what we like to do, and probably one of my acts of service is gift giving. Excuse me, just have a glass of water. Lots of calls today, and that was one of my acts today, just to catch up with as many people as I possibly could. But I've caught up with you now. I feel as though I've said hello to every one of you. So with what Audrey said, we'll lean into that, help one another rather than judge one another, and make this year a lighter and more meaningful year so that you get to enjoy it just as much as everybody else does around the year together. All right, well, have a good week ahead. Take care of yourselves and each other, and it's really important to lean into this year, whatever that looks like for you. If you're taking it this year is an easy year, that's fine. If you're going hard, like I have, go hard, or go in the between. It doesn't matter. Whatever's right for you, you just do you and look after you and those that are around you, and enjoy that time together. Be present with one another and just love on one another. Give a tree a hug if you've got no one to give you a hug. Give your puppy dogs a hug. Give your mum a hug. Give your dad a hug, or give a friend a hug, whoever it may be. Take care of yourselves. Look after each and every one of yourselves, and I look forward to catching up with you next week. And you will see me online. I've got a few more lives that are coming throughout the week because I've been asked to do a couple of things which I will focus on for people. And that's a wrap for the start. First video for 2025, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Have a good night. Bye for now.